considering reciprocal measures after Burkina Faso severed diplomatic relations with Paris, marking another escalation in years of deteriorating ties over security, sovereignty, and allegations of foreign interference. Burkina Faso has accused France of backing subversive networks and supporting terrorist groups, claims Paris has repeatedly denied. Now, the latest development comes as France's influence continues to decline across parts of West Africa, where several military-led governments have increasingly distanced themselves from their former colonial power. And for more on this, we are joined on the line by Austin Aigbe, an advocacy officer at the West Africa Democracy Solidarity Network. Austin, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Thank you very much.
Now, Austin, what does Burkina Faso's decision to sever diplomatic ties with France say about the current state of relations between the two countries?
So, actually, from the day Captain Traore became military head in Burkina Faso, that was the beginning of that divorce between France and Burkina Faso specifically. Burkina Faso is the only country among the other among the three countries that are talking about Mali and Niger, who have already severe relationship with France. I don't even know why it took Burkina Faso this long. France, I think at this time, France must truly respect the opinion of the leaders of Burkina Faso, not necessarily the people of Burkina Faso, because France still have good relationship with Burkinabes living in Paris or anywhere around France. France continue to maintain some educational and cultural exchanges between the peoples of Burkina Faso and of course France. But what the real challenge is with the leadership of Burkina Faso and France. And of course, like Captain Traore always said, that France's invisible hand of demand and supply is impacting on security measures in their country, and that France should truly leave them alone. And I think I do support Burkina Faso at this time. France has long been engaged in some kind of neo-colonialism or direct colonialism beyond what British had done in his own colony. British, even though British still operate using the Commonwealth to interfere in former colony, France direct intervention has become a challenge, whether it's in even before now in Nigeria that led to the killings that happened in Nigeria years ago, or right now with the Francophone countries of West Africa, particularly Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, even though people still accuse Cote d'Ivoire of being a puppet of France or Benin, and etc. But I think France should know that the global community has expanded beyond what it used to be. France needs to truly slow down. Whether they are going to engage in any kind of direct military-wise, it will not be in the best interest of the West African countries.
Now, Burkina Faso has accused France of supporting subversive networks and terrorists. How serious are these allegations, given that France has long played a major role in counterterrorism efforts in the Sahel?
That is a problem of development. When multinational or bilateral institutions try to want to support, they call it helping. And you recall in the conference recently in Kenya, where Macron was accused of using the word development or support to Africa, and that he rather would not use that Africa is supporting France and France isn't supporting Africa. And I think that was loud enough for Macron to understand that the peoples of Africa have grown, West Africa have grown. That core that France continue to instigate some violence in in Burkina Faso is a very strong allegation. And I think that's why I said earlier that France needed at this time to truly slow down and allow Burkina Faso to run its affairs sincerely. I mean, Burkina Faso have not asked France now to return monies in the bank. They've not asked the wealth of Burkina Faso that is stored up in Paris. They've not asked them to return them. So what they're asking is just leave us alone. Don't sponsor militia group. Burkina Faso today still suffer militia groups. They still suffer insecurity. The country only recently, Mali almost fell to militia group. And this Sahel state have accused France, and of course, Nigeria also have its own fair share of that accusation because of its strong tie with France. France is the problem that they have identified. They have not accused the US, even though the US is somehow gradually making move to the Sahel state. They've not accused the US directly. They've not accused Russia, even though Russia is directly their partner at this time, military partner. But the accusation is that France, you have been in this country for too long. Here you are, you have deployed military intervention. You have been your all of those military action in this Sahel state has not really produce tangible results. Now the people want to rule, let them rule. Even though I don't support military regime in this Sahel state, but I think that France need to know that colonial rule is over and it should be truly be over.
Now, what options remain for France to rebuild trust with Burkina Faso, or has that relationship reached a point of no return?
As of this day, with Captain Ibrahim Traore on the helm of affair of Burkina Faso, there is no going back because it's not just a civil authority president; it's a military head of state. So it would not it would not push back. But I think that France, what they could do is to continue to support the peoples of Burkina Faso, wherever they are around the world. I mean, the youth trunk of Burkina Faso in Paris, give them the necessary education, support them culturally, advance whatever. But once it turns the opposite, it's not going to be in the best interest of France. And that's where it is. France is making the Sahel state military leaders to become popular. France is the reason why people are beginning to think about, we truly agree with what Captain Traore is saying. France should, I think that because it's at the doorstep today of Emmanuel Macron, he should, as president of France, slow down and check and change the pattern. The pattern is not to help Burkina Faso. It should rather go to Burkina Faso and say, Burkina Faso, help France. Maybe at that point, maybe Burkina Faso can begin to listen. But as of now, I don't think there will be any, there'll be reversal to those strong position of the Burkinabe president.
Well, Austin, thank you so much for joining us. We'll leave it there for today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's Austin Aigbe, an advocacy officer at the West Africa Democracy Solidarity Network, joining us on the line.
When the story moves, we move. Africa Update with Lulu Gabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time on Channel Africa. Conversations are happening and